You know that person, maybe it's you, who gets just completely wound up by inefficiency? Is that just, a personality quirk, or is it a sign of something much, much deeper going on in the brain? Well, today we're going to unpack the psychology behind that feeling and figure out if it's a superpower or if it's actually a form of self-sabotage.
So let me ask you this. Do you ever feel that, physical twinge of annoyance when someone takes forever to get to the point of a story? Or when you're stuck in some workflow that you just know could be done in half the time? If you've ever felt that gut-level frustration, you're not just being impatient. Your brain is trying to tell you something really important.
And let's get this straight right from the jump. What you're feeling isn't simple impatience. It's not perfectionism. What the psychology suggests is that it's actually a highly wired mind trying to protect its most precious resource, your cognitive energy. It's almost like a defense mechanism against wasting mental fuel.
Okay, so let's dive into this first part, the efficiency obsession. For a high-processing mind, this isn't just about liking things neat and tidy. It is a deep, fundamental need to avoid wasting mental energy, and it all boils down to one key concept.
And that concept is called cognitive friction. Think of it like this. For a brain that's wired for high performance, being forced to do simple, repetitive, clunky tasks, it feels genuinely grating. It's like firing up a supercomputer just to do 2 plus 2. It's not just a waste of time, it feels like a total misuse of the entire system.
But here's the twist. That friction, it's actually the flip side of a massive advantage. It's a sign that you have what we could call a high-performance mind, where that same obsession with efficiency becomes a genuine superpower.
Okay, so check out the fundamental difference here. On the left, you've got the standard approach. Tasks are just a list of things to get done. Check, check, check. But on the right, the high-performance mind doesn't see a list, it sees a system to optimize. It's the difference between just, driving your car to get groceries and being a Formula One engineer looking for the absolute perfect, most efficient racing line around the track.
So why to do this? What's the point of this relentless drive to optimize everything? Well, it's about finding that calm in the middle of all the chaos. By optimizing, you actually lower your mental RAM usage on all the trivial stuff, and that frees up all that precious brain power for deep, meaningful, focused work.
And that really brings us to the ultimate prize, which is captured perfectly in this quote. All of this tweaking and optimizing, it isn't really about speed for speed's sake. It's about carving out the space you need for sustained, deep focus. And let's be honest, in the world we live in today, that is absolutely a superpower.
So let's be crystal clear about this. When you harness it correctly, this built-in drive for efficiency isn't a bug, it's a feature. It is absolutely your superpower, letting you achieve so much more with way less wasted effort. But, as we all know, every superpower has a weakness.
And that brings us to the dark side, the optimizer's trap. This is the point where that incredible strength, that superpower, becomes a double-edged sword. It's where it can actually start to hold you back.
And this introduces a really fascinating psychological concept called the 120-130 IQ trap. It's this weird state where your mind is smart enough to see all the possible shortcuts and all the potential improvements, but you end up over-engineering really simple problems because you kind of lack the humility to just accept that sometimes good enough is genuinely the best answer.
In this trap, it leads directly to what's called the action gap. And I bet this looks familiar. You get a project. Then you spend days, maybe weeks, planning the perfect first step. That spirals into total analysis paralysis, and the punchline? You never actually begin the thing you were trying to optimize in the first place.
So, how do you get the superpower without falling into the trap? What's the solution? Well, it's about evolving. It's about becoming what we'll call a silent strategist.
You see, a silent strategist goes way beyond just simple optimization. They don't just find a faster way to check things off a list, they see the underlying geometry of the entire problem. They're thinking in maps of interconnected systems, not just a straight to-do list, and that allows them to synthesize ideas and find these brilliant solutions that other people completely miss.
And this, right here, this visual just nails the fundamental shift. The optimizer on the left is always asking, how can I do this task faster? But the strategist on the right, they take a huge step back and they ask a much more powerful question. Wait a second, is this even the right task to be doing at all? So when you boil it all down, the ultimate skill isn't about shutting down that optimizer brain of yours. It's about developing the wisdom to know when to shut it down. It's learning to balance that deep drive for the perfect system
with the simple, practical, and sometimes necessary need to just act.
And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. That drive you have for efficiency, it's an incredibly powerful tool. But how are you using it? Are you just using it to make your tasks go faster? Or are you using it to make sure you're working on the right tasks in the first place? Are you an optimizer? Or are you a strategist?